extremely simple to do. The county's obligated to potentially a referendum in November.
Figure anything that can save us money will be well received.
Absolutely.
It's not just residents, it's the whole village. I mean, if you run a business or whatever, companies, I mean, they all can apply for it. It's just not for residents, it's everyone.
Everyone.
Okay, we'll look forward to that. Public Works, Trustee Waddington.
Not much going on. I know Greg didn't mention it in his report, but they've done some coring on some of the roads.
They have.
Jeff might want to tell you a little bit. We
Yeah,
cored some of the roads that we're going to resurface and stuff because
The Misty Hill pouring plugs from the road.
to see what's underneath. We've had some trouble, you know. Maybe Jeff knows.
Typically, when you're going to go through and you're going to spend all this money to go mill a road and resurface it, you want to make sure that the base underneath it is still good. What they do is they'll come out and they take core samples where they just take like a giant drill down and they pull up the piece of the rock, the road, the subsurface, and then they'll take it to analyze it, how many pounds per square inch you can hold, what the different depths are, what type of stone and what have you is in there. Fortunately, all the sub underneath Misty Hill is in very, very good shape. So it is. And the approach that we're going to take in Misty Hill will be a little bit different. Instead of milling the whole road, we're going to mill 6 feet out from the curbs, overlay over the top, so the road's going to have just a little bit of a crown to it, so the water drains off better into the curb areas and then go out into the sewer. So we don't. The killer on the roads is the water sitting on the road. Especially in the wintertime, you get the freeze thaws and that just gets in there and gets in there. That's why you get all these little alligator cracks and what have you on the sides of the roads, and that's what creates potholes. So crowning them, it kind of helps that.
The other thing was, some of the records that we had were inaccurate, and some of the records we never had in the first place, so.
Records of?
How the roads were built.
Really?
Yeah. Well, from
for Misty Hill roads?
No.
Misty Hill we have.
Okay, yeah, I say Deer Point, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, Deer Point, the front, the early going on to Deer Point, there was not any records there. Yeah, when they went to mill down, oh geez, I don't know, 2.5 inches, they were down to gravel.
That was especially early Deer Point, the front phase,
right.
Yeah.
Then the other one had way too much asphalt.
Yeah, then as we got further down, what they were claiming was there was an extra 6 inches on top, so then you had to go, you can't leave a certain amount there, so that the cost just doubled because you had to remove excess and then put excess more down.
They were just trying to balance it from the front to the back.
Whatever. It's nothing but a headache.
That's all I have.
That's enough, Gary.
I think you did. Did you guys finish chipping the entire trail? You guys are spreading wood chips on the...
We did. I forgot to mention that. I'm sorry.
I knew you did.
Yeah, Gray's Lake was kind enough to donate to the village about 150 yards of their surplus mulch from their summer storm damage. So we started on the Cranberry Lake path from a little bit past the gazebo on the north end by Cranberry Lake North. And we were able to spread the wood chips about halfway down Hainesville Road with just the donated material plus a little bit of reserve that we had. I still have some here. There's another area where we just put the new entrance in Cranberry Lake North that needs more. But since it's not frozen, I can't get a machine back in there. It would just make more of a mess than good. So once it gets frozen enough, we'll get back there and address that area, hopefully in the next...
This is very odd weather from that standpoint. I mean, very odd.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is get a machine stuck back there. It'll sit there. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to public safety. Trustee Priest.
Hello, everyone. Not too much. We haven't had a meeting since October, but we are going to have a meeting January 24th at 6:15 here at the Village Hall. Everybody's welcome, and if you want to bring some ideas, come on down. We'll be here this one.
Okay, wetlands and open spaces, trustee Duberstein.
Yes, first of all, I want everyone to know that Grays Lake, the village of Grays Lake, donated over 100 cubic yards of wood chips to our village. And not only did they donate them, but their public works people loaded their dump trucks and brought it over to Hainesville Road by the Cranberry Lake Path for us. And that's a big savings because the hardest part of getting any chips is the labor involved. And we're most grateful to Mayor Taylor, the board, and Bill Hines, who's the public works man there. And then Jeff and his staff, luckily the boys were home from college. I saw them out there one day, all day, because I saw them when I left and I saw them when I came back, spreading all of the wood chips on about a third of the path, or at least a quarter of the path. And that was very significant and helpful, and thank you. I just want to let people know that the Wetland Committee is made up of at least 7 residents from both sides of Hainesville Road, 2 trustees, and a representative from Native Restoration Services. So we have a very active and well-represented committee. One of the residents, Mike Peterson, is helping me to identify and organize all the ponds, woodlands, and open spaces to include the history of each project with before and after pictures. He's done a great job of work on his own already. And we have well over 20 ponds. I'm sure that people aren't even aware of all the places that we have water in the village. And we've started trying to make the views accessible to residents, starting with the most obvious ponds along Hainesville Road and 120 and the major roads around the village. But we'll hopefully in the future get even more so that you can see them. We're working on creating a detailed long-term plan for projects for the ponds, woodlands, and open spaces for the village. And in our meeting, we also reviewed the budget that I submitted. So it was a good meeting, a long one, and I think we got a lot accomplished. Our next meeting is March 1st. It's the first Thursday in the month, and anyone who's interested is welcome to attend. It's here at the village.
How's that canoe concession going?
We're working on it. As soon as the lake isn't frozen, we'll be up and running.
Okay.
It's not frozen that much.
If you want a canoe out there, we'll discuss it.
We'll turn it over to community relations, trustee Darrenowski.
Like many others, we haven't had a meeting yet. We are also having our community relations meeting on January 24th at 6:15 p.m. before the next village meeting, board meeting. Some of the topics we're going to be talking about is the recycling event. I put together a budget for, obviously it's tentative until Jerry gets his, scissors on it and cuts it up. But and also start talking about Hainesville Fest. So I know it seems really early, but it comes up on us really, really quickly. And if we don't start planning on it now, we're gonna get behind the 8 ball, and I don't want to be there. So we're starting next week.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to business. First item up is the ordinance establishing the regulations for alternative energy collection systems. Do I have a motion for approval?
Based on the recommendation of the zoning commission, thank you, zoning commission, I move that we accept the ordinance. Second.
Roll call.
Just a second. Trustees Darrenowski.
Aye.
Crease.
Aye.
Duberstein.
Aye.
Barrett.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
And Walkington.
Aye.
Ordinance number 12-1-156.
Okay, second item up is an ordinance amending Chapter 5, Section 8 of the Village Code and establishing requirements for Bassett training for individuals who sell or serve alcoholic liquor.
I don't know.
So, second.
Question on this?
Discussion. We have a motion and a second.
I didn't get the motion.
All right, good, yeah, I
I
want to make
make the
sure.
motion.
All right. Yep. I think we have a second from Georgiana.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, and now we have discussion.
Okay, I'm sorry. The question is that it says here that all the individuals that are ready to sell liquor are going to have to be trained.
Bassett trained, yeah.
So that means like Walgreens might have to train 10 cashiers?
They'll have to train every single person. Because I know.
Actually, Walgreens, as I understand it, already requires, it's just part of their corporate policy, they Bassett train their employees.
Is there an outside cost to it, or do they have a person that is qualified to train?
It depends, it depends. A lot of bigger companies like a Walgreens will have in-house training where they do it themselves, but somebody like a local liquor store would have to take a local class. They're available at CLC for a nominal fee. It's a 2-hour class.
4 hours.
Or 4 hours, excuse me, 4-hour class.
I know just personally, when working at Walmart, we have somebody who is certified to do it, and any single person who is registered trained had to go through the class. And so we had one of our store managers is certified to teach the class. So
It's pretty commonplace in the area. We're one of the few villages that doesn't have this in place. And just due to recent concerns with some of the smaller liquor stores we've had in town, this is just something we'd like to do.
And then they have to put up a certification plaque or with everybody's name on it, or who enforces it?
Well, they have to provide us with proof that they've attended the class. And then at any time, the liquor commissioner, which is myself or a police officer, can go in and say, we want to see all your current certifications.
I hope this is something, I'm sorry, I can't help myself. I hope this is something we don't have to hound them about.
It's pretty standard that when somebody applies for a liquor license, so you're talking about Bassett House. Yes, I got it, Jerry. Oh.
I was trying to figure that one out too.
I couldn't help it, I'm sorry.
Jerry's the dry.
Very dry.
Poor dog.
I'm not going to comment any further on that. Is there any further discussion from anyone else? Other than trustee Dale?
I'm done. Irish humor for the moment. Been watching too many dogs.
Roll call.
Roll call, yes.
Trustees Zerowski.
Aye.
Priest.
Aye.
Timberstein.
Aye.
Barrett.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
And Walkington.
Aye.
Almost part.
Ordinance number 12-157.
Were you working at the high school today? No.
I'm hopefully giving us.
He took his test.
Okay. All right. Next item up is a discussion-only item. Townhome hardship rentals. And what does this mean? In the packets, the board had been provided with the covenants from each of our 3 townhome associations. I want to look at this as a group, although this topic was brought to us by one townhome condominium association at this time, and that's Cranberry Lake North. Right before the Christmas holidays, I had a resident come in from Cranberry Lake North, very nice gentleman, explaining to me that he had very recently gone to his townhome management company and board, and there was some confusion about what he meant by that, the management company or the board. A lot of people, believe it or not, confuse those two. Requesting permission to do a hardship rental because of the situation. And so he explained the situation, which sounded very legitimate to me. So I pursued several other questions to him to clarify who he was talking to. Was it indeed his association board or the management company? And he had basically been in contact with the management company